In this video, we're going to use the stair method and or slide method, depending on if that's what it's actually called or not. But basically, we're going to be converting in metric systems within metric systems. And so in the middle there, we see two phrases: King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, or King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. Now, the by or the unexpectedly are the only differences. That's either just for the base unit or for the unit. And so what we need to do is start with what we know and then move to the location we want to find the correct number of places. If we're moving down, or if we're starting here and moving down or towards, in reality, the right, then we would move our decimal to the right. If we're starting here and moving left or up, then our decimal is going to move to the left. And so we're going to go through a couple examples, and we're going to do a couple different versions. And we see kind of in the background, I'm actually going to remove this so we don't see it in the video as much, but there's a different version there, and we're going to show you the other scale here, which is more of a linear scale. So if we take a look at this, 6.03 liters, that means I'm going to start at my base, because liter is one of our base units. So we're right there in the middle, and we want to go to milliliters. So that means we're going to go 1, 2, 3 places to the right. That means when I take my decimal, I have to move it 1, 2, and then 3 places to the right. So this would be 6030 milliliters. Our next one, we're starting at the meter, which is one of our other base units, the meter, and we're going to go to millimeter. So we're still going the same direction. We're going 1, 2, 3 places. I'm going to start with my decimal 1, 2, 3 places over, because we went to the right, our decimal goes to the right. So now this becomes 25 millimeters. We have kilograms. Kilo is up here at the top, of course, and we are going to grams, which is one of our other base units. And again, we're going to be going 1, 2, 3 places to the right. So we all are using distance to the right now this time. Now remember, if there's no decimal point in your answer, in reality that decimal would always be at the very end. We need to add 1, 2, 3 more places. So I'm going to have to add 3 more zeros. So my answer becomes 5320, which is the original, and we're going to add in 3 zeros. We can put in a couple commas, so it becomes 5,320,000. Now try not to confuse commas with decimals, because that might play a role in where your value ends up. All right, over here, 12.11 millimeters. So we're starting with millimeters. We're starting here and we're going to meters. So now we're going to the left, or we're going up, because meter, again, is one of our bases. My decimal is at the 12.1. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 places to the left. I got to add another 0 in there, and we'll also put a 0 in at the front, so it becomes 0.0121 meters. 4,500, again, this is the difference between the comma and a decimal. Again, make sure you're recognizing that. So we have a comma. We're starting at milli, 45,000. We're going to grams, 1, 2, 3 again, because gram is our base unit. Again, at my decimal, if there's no decimal present, that would always be at the end. We moved to the left 3 places here, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3 places here. That comma now becomes a decimal point, so we have 4.5 grams. And then finally our last one, milligrams. Again, milli to grams, 1, 2, 3. Now these just all happen to be moving 3. You're not always going to move 3, and we'll see that on possibly the next sheet. So we're going 3 places to the left, and this is where people often make a mistake, especially when the decimal is already there with a 0 in front. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 places, so I have to add 2 more zeros, and then of course the original's beginning 0. So we have 0, we have the 2 that we added, and then those are the 2 we added, and then I had the original 0 there, and then we got 7824. Originally I was right here, again at 0.7824, and I went 1, 2, 3 positions over. So make sure you are moving the correct ways. Again, if you move your decimal to the left, that's because you're moving to the left on the scale, or moving up. If you moved your decimal to the right, that's because you had moved down originally. So go with what you know first. Find your original location. So again, we started with meters first, and then we were going to millimeters. We started with kilograms first up here, and then we went to grams. We started with liters first, and then we went to milliliters. And the same thing down here. We started with millimeters first, but then we went to the meters. We started with milligrams, and then we went to grams. We started with milligrams again, we went to grams. So that's the Stairwell method. And again, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. That's our kilo, hecto, deka, your base unit. your deci, your centi, and your milli. And then again, the same thing. The only thing that's been changed, instead of using a base unit, maybe they just use the word unit to remember that by. So again, if you can remember something like that, that will help you. Now, here's another method. Same concept, just a different layout, and this is more of a linear method, but we see the same two phrases at the top. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, and King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. And we have the same thing left to right: kilo, hecto, deka, base, deci, centi, and milli. And so we'll do a couple examples here, but the concept is the same. Go with what you know first. We're starting at centimeters, so there's my centi, and I'm going to meters, so I'm going over two places. I'm going to that base unit where the centi would be, or centi to milli, excuse me, to meter. Again, if there's no decimal, that would be at the end. Moving over two places, put in a 0.12 meters. Grams to milligrams. Gram would be a base unit. We're going to milli, which is 1, 2, 3 places over to the right. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to have to add in 2 zeros. 4,600 is my new answer because I added in 2 zeros. Liter to milliliter. Liter would be my base. Milliliter, 1, 2, 3. So we have 3. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. I got to put a 0, 0, and a 0. So 3,000 milliliters came from 3 liters. Going the other direction. So the first one we went to the left and we went to the right. Milliliters to liters, we're starting at milli and we're going 1, 2, 3 because liter again is my base unit. So 45, my decimal would be at the end. I'm going to go 1, 2, and then one more. I got to add a 0 there. So 0.45, but we need to remember, don't just leave it at 0.45. We actually have to put the decimal there. If you don't, that's a big difference. 45 versus 0.045 is a major difference. That would be a major error. Grams to kilograms. We're starting at grams, which is a base unit. We're going to kilograms. 1, 2, 3. Going 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3. So this is the same idea as this previous question. 0.085 kilograms. Milliliters to liters. Going milli, and then liter would be our base unit. 1, 2, 3 to the left. Again, if there's no decimal, it would go at the end. 1, 2, 3. So 0.3 liters. So hopefully you get the idea of this. If you are finding where you start first and then going, you're just moving the decimal the same places as the amount of steps you moved. So let's do one more row here. So 14 meters to kilometers. Meter is a base unit. I'm going to kilometers. 1, 2, 3 steps over and going to the left. So again, if there's no decimal, it would be at the end. 1, 2, 3 would be my 0. And again, I have to move that decimal point, 0.014 kilometers. Kilometer into centimeters. Kilometer is a base unit. Now we're going all the way to the other end. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. So I'm going to do kilometers, and we're going to go again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros I'm going to add in there. So my new answer with 5 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now becomes, we can put a comma in there, it becomes 100,000. We're moving the decimal, the same number of steps that we went over. Centimeters to millimeters. Here's a real easy one. Start at centi, we're going to milli. We're just moving it over one place. So 4.5 millimeters. So again, hopefully you're grasping this concept. Should be pretty straightforward, pretty plain and simple to convert within metric units.